Do I have to? Do I have to say it again? You already know. I was right again, like usual. We even got 2 sevens in the views. Look at the date, 28th. +7, +7, +7, 4. Forever 4. 4 riders, 4 spirits. God, 4 inches out of the ocean. 4 total signs for every zodiac. There's that main sign that you all know, and then there's 3 deacons, as they call them. Anyways, there's 2 of them, 2 witnesses. 2 olive trees stand before the God of the whole earth. So, usual stuff, but a little interesting stuff. He's saying it's some kind of laser that he's seen. I don't know if I'm doing this, but it just so happens to be on the same day. I have seen lasers before on these days. Maybe that's what caused the explosions and stuff, is the laser beam momentarily blasting. I don't know. Maybe it's some... I mean, even Skynet itself, the UFOs are under God's control, so they could be doing it as well. Instead of just the power or whatever, like sometimes you might want to fulfill like certain type of scripture, so that he'll use like basically anything like the UFOs or whatever. But it doesn't look like the UFOs are doing it. It looks like the UFOs are just flying by. I think it's like actually coming from something else. I'll let you see what I mean.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Noctilucent clouds are lit. The sun is...
Don't allow me to forget to mention that 700 miles of blizzards. And watch the locations where this so-called blizzards are going to start. It might be the ones that were actually coming at me, but like I told you in the last video, even though they had that big 4 or 5G around me and stuff, I told them like that's why they're pushing for 6G so quick, because I just keep getting stronger, and it tends to be like whatever I encounter that challenges whatever I create to counter it tends to grow. The faster, the more powerful, the stronger. I mean, like if I get hit by something hard and it's made to stop that, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, kind of thing, And it seems to be the more intense it is, the more effect, quickly I adapt.
Is lit. We've got 700 miles of blizzard warnings.
You see how that thing?
Retrograde, day 40 of 40.
40 of 40. Just so happens to be 40 days of retrograde Venus. We started this, and how we got the 4 right there. The first 4, forever 4. See what I'm saying? Mercury, Venus, Luna, and Earth. Technically the first, and then there's 5. You got the Sun. The 4 that surround the 5th. The 4 cherubim that surround the Lamb of God. Venus is important because it's like basically the same thing as God. Because Jesus is the bright morning star, and I showed you how to turn into a phoenix, and like a lot of it started with that, like with that conjunction, like the part when it was like making a ring of fire, and that led to more predictions that led to. I predicted on that alone, but some other stuff I predicted, the Tonga earthquake and all that kind of stuff. And he thinks nobody predicted it. Like he even thought he was predicting it by being like a couple of weeks off or something, or 3 weeks off. I predicted it to the day. But and explained it all, how it works. He used to be a follower of mine, because there wasn't that many real channels back then, in those old days of YouTube, and he ended up following me because of that, and a lot of other people that were big followers, like Mr. BBB and all that.
We've got 700 miles of blizzard warnings and Venus retrograde.
That storm got ate up.
40,
It came early
Mercury
too for some reason.
retrograde day 14 of 21. People are totally losing their minds.
Yes,
Have you seen it over the last week?
it's not even been like the past week. It was specifically yesterday. Specifically yesterday. That actually relates to what I want to talk to you about, where I know how to identify what's really going on now. It's just like the Matrix movie, how Agent Smith could jump into people that are not unplugged. I noticed everybody that's not really unplugged from both their diet and the negative way that they're using your diet against you, mentally, people that's just not unplugged to any substantial degree. They might know one thing or something, but their life's still swamped in sin. I literally got bombarded yesterday. It was related to the storm and all that stuff, but it was really this is spiritual. This is a spirit that goes into people like Agent Smith, and he can be more than one person, just like Agent Smith. It's happening simply because I'm here. I already know this. This is tending to be these polar opposites. So the stronger I get, the more the polar opposite tries to become as strong as well, and will probably naturally become a little strong. I mean, even though it doesn't really compare, the flesh versus the spirit, or darkness versus light, it really doesn't compare. So even with that factor going on, and the same thing happens with darkness. Darkness tends to make light, more polarized. Like if you have more and more substantial, more to stick out, higher contrast. You see what I'm saying? And that's why these people they seem to be problematic or whatever. But it's in reality, they're creating their own hells. I already told you how this world works with karma and all that stuff. Their energy is going to go to Satan and all that stuff, and they're going to be in a place where that's what they thrive off. They thrive off of that. You ever met people that thrive off of fucking negative energy? That's how I first noticed this shit. How the devil really possessed people, not just parasites, but literal spirits that go from one person to another. And it's like the Hulk. When I met him, he told me one of the most truest things ever, that the devil ain't nothing but fear. Imagine all the things you wouldn't have lost in your life if you didn't listen to that little devil in your head. And just, trust yourself. And trust logic or whatever. Fear has its place, but people that that love to be in that drama, that love to be arguing. I literally got into a huge argument with my so-called dad, who is really I am convinced he is possessed by a devil. I would love to get him exorcised, but I don't think I have to I'm not going to waste my time on that, simply because I know how it works. I don't think exorcism work that well. The Bible says that you either are the tree of good or the tree of evil. I kind of mind myself a fucking Abraham or some shit. Where my old uncle, who's a person of God, he was like Father Abraham. He used to call me that. Oh man. But yeah, that's so funny. Anyway, so you could tell what the spirit would do, it would go from one person to the other, and it would spread through unease. What they call disease? What is disease? It's unease. See what I'm saying? These people create this unease. This guy was just, constantly blah 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 about stuff, and then I noticed they like to repeat themselves and all that kind of stuff, and they never keep the truth. They might keep the truth sometimes, but it's not really their nature. Their nature is really what it's about. It's really more like to fool you even more into thinking that they actually are true to their word. You see what I'm saying? So it's really a compounded lie. Deep, huh? Like God has changed me in such a way I can't even believe. Like, I got such a zen-kai from the attack I got yesterday. It's not even funny. I literally didn't even do anything to cause it. It just came to me like wave after wave after wave of bombardment from the enemy. Like one thing to another. And I noticed it was that same demon going from one thing to another, like I saw when I first realized that this type of thing happened. But I didn't take it super seriously back then, but now it's like I'm constantly paying attention to it because it's like everything. It's not just people, it's things around me. Like, if I was to make the Matrix movie, it would be fucking Agent Smith, and not only, people, but everything around you he can become. Just like God can be, and typically is everything, the devil can kind of hijack things. And that's why I used to tell people they don't even understand the very vision they have of what's in front of them, the piece of that. And when they're dreaming or anywhere they go, the perpetual peace that they have that is not actual war, chaos, like we see it can be anywhere on this planet at any time, for example, or anything. Things beyond what you can even see in this world because of the possibilities that we're being presented. And we know there's a lot more than what we're being presented. These sorts of things, anyways, let me get back to the main point. I mean, oh yeah, I remember now because it's related. Like, it's the very fucking, your vision being not chaos or whatever, and orderly, is a war itself. Like, ask anybody that's done DMT or any kind of hallucinogenic. You're not always like, once you're there, you realize what they can do to your vision. They can control your vision because it's just like all in your head, it's all in your spirit. That's why you're made in God's image. You're creators. That's what they're afraid of. That's why gas is based around me. I told y'all like a month before they even found out that gas is powerful. Against COVID or whatever, because it stops the spike protein. That there's a character named Gas, just so happens he had dreads and stuff, that can manifest stuff out of his hands. Well, not even out of his hands, just really it looked like his hands, because that's probably how it works. I only got that new Camus shit was Hawk. I'm more like that's why I call him the hand of God. Like I basically do it like more like a creation type of thing. I don't move shit around there with my spirit. That's why it's the whole Saitama thing. But anyways, I hope I'm not getting too off topic with this, but like you guys, you gotta know you're constantly some kind of conflict. Like when you're on those drugs, for example, like I said, you'll see that there's literally a war going on. Or if you have a near-death experience, they try to take you to hell. Like that's really, you're seeing what they're actually doing. That's why the Bible says, don't be around these people because you'll get caught up in the backsliding of what they do. They're evil war. Like I got to know a little bit about yelling with this guy, and I could tell it was like weakening me, but since I'm ignorant, I was ignorant, God looked out for me, plus it was provoked, constantly provoked. And at the same time, I did kind of have fun doing it. That's why us good-natured people, we typically don't have fun with that kind of stuff. And I'm trying to get you to not get into that kind of stuff, because that's when you could get addicted to damn near anything, and then you think it's good for you, but it's misery, I'm pretty sure you see where I'm going with that. But let me get back on point and on topic. So basically, yeah, there's a constant war going on, and then God's like helping us and stuff. It's very real. I experienced spiritual attacks like I haven't had in a long time. It's probably because all that arguing, he did it likely because of me making all those videos yesterday, the day before, I believe. And just because it was a day, and like dude said, this alignment, the heavens, declare the handiwork of God, you see what I'm saying, all that kind of stuff. And the rarity of this and the numerics of it, pretty substantial. You got even the timing of this video, 27, the 2 witnesses, 7 spirits, the 2 witnesses again, the 4, and the 4, witnessing twice of it, and then the 2 and the 2, witnessing twice of that, and then the 7 as well. What's 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 4? 7. God witnessing a symmetry you'll never fucking be able to replicate because it's divinely inspired. And it just always be like that. But I didn't even think about that till I just looked down and saw it. And like I said, the 700 miles blizzard thing, and the 4, one is 4, and the storm 4, blah, you know. Alright, so the way you can see it happening is they create unease. And then, like I said, that's why my attack is so bad, is because these people that create unease while doing all these evil things, they're doing that to try and throw a demon at you. That's actually what it is. And then what happens is they get the other people to take on, to maybe get angry or fearful or negative feelings. And then that person will then do the same thing, typically back to that same person. And now that person probably gave them some energy because that's what they feed off. You know what I mean? That's what they like, is that negative stuff. That's why they always torture people that are victims of this, you know? And that's why you have this gut feeling to beat their fucking ass when they try and piss you off, you know? To just get it over with. But, you know, the best answer is actually really counterproductive, which is love. I mean, logically, you would think that's not what you want to do. But love, just like the Bible said, it's like they're not compatible with it. You putting love on them, or not even loving necessarily them, but your love in general. That's what the Bible words it as. Your love in general burns it, because you're not getting them the feedback that they want. They're not being able to drag you to hell. They're not getting their little high, their addiction that they like, just walk away. And then, what was I gonna say? Because I'm telling you, there's people that feed on that shit. And these are the people that watch the fucking news all day. Like, that's what this person does. He just watches shit all fucking day. Like, they're in the politics, they're in this small person mentality of wanting to control other people because they're so damn small they can never be content with who they are. You know, these small people, these losers, loser furs. You know, I figured I'd bless you guys today, and instead of, I noticed I was being really hard on y'all yesterday, and I figured today, and that's why I told you even before I knew about what I'm talking about, that it's about what you do. That's why I try to do the good and all that, no matter what, you know. But sometimes you have to judge people. It's the good thing to do. Like, for the good of the earth, Bill Gates needs to die. You know what I mean? For the good of the earth, George Soros needs to fucking die. All these people behind this conspiracy to kill humanity have to die. I don't care. This shit is ridiculous. It's disgusting, and they're gonna pay for it one way or another. Whether you guys do it or God does it, their judgment is gonna happen. And it's just karma. So yeah, like, the trick is, you know, you'll see it. They're just trying to get you to do that, and then I got all those demons were like attached to me because of how I had done that as well. So, and it caused me problems. I was able to get attacked more because of that. Because when you're in love, when you're in perfect love, cast out all fear. So the devil can't come nowhere near you. You see what I'm saying? He might approach and try and tempt you, and you'll feel it coming. But if you resist, and especially if you just don't give him your time of day to be tempted, because that's all it really is temptation to make you angry, to various degrees. Just don't give it the time of day, and it won't have any effect on you. I'm telling you. Like, you give it like a lot of your time, then you fucked up. Then you cause yourself problems. So don't keep people in your life that give you bad vibes. You know what I mean? Don't do it. If they don't make you feel comfortable, like if they don't make you feel appreciated, like positive things. Not even so much that. The hallmark that gives them away. The positive people can be kind of ambiguous sometimes because of temptation and all that, but the negative ones you'll be able to tell because they consistently take it to a negative place. They consistently do it, and then the most obvious thing about them will be they'll be fidgety. They'll be the more easily influenced people by the devil. That's why you notice a lot of these people on the internet, in the politics, they're kind of fidgety. Like Hillary Clinton was the most evil one of them all. And then Biden, he's close because he can't even walk up a fucking flight of stairs. You'll notice that they don't have any actual control over their bodies because they're demonically possessed. Yes, I understand this to a T. Once it really dawned on me what was going on, the way I first noticed it was this tension in the air that we were all in the group, and there was this highly demon-possessed woman that always argues with her daughter. Yeah, I did her daughter, by the way. And I was just thinking about that shit. Well, basically, she would get in arguments with people all in the group a lot, right? But not me. She respected me or whatever. She was always like, "You're the best around here." Blah blah blah. What's the trend? And what she said. I know it's her and her daughter would argue, but she argued with these guys, and the tension would every once in a while one of them would stop. They would just stop, and then I feel the tension build. That's their way of relieving that tension, is to just do that. You see what I mean? Instead of just using their conscience and intention to control it. That's why God judges us based on our intention. Not whether you were fooled. That's why the person will. But don't be fooled. Don't let your guard down. It's all about your intention. If you forget, that's different. You know what I mean? Don't forget intentionally, though. You see what I'm saying? It's all logic. God works off logic. I don't know how people think you got to call him Yahweh Shah or Yeshua Mashiach, which are the two commonly known Hebrew names for him, both in the camps and then also just in the Hebrew dictionary. Or Jesus Christ. I've used Jesus Christ, and since I have field experience with it, I trust him. It gives me a good feeling. And that's how most people that have gotten in the demonic encounters got away, according to the UFO abduction studies. That's what they call them, UFOs. They're demons. That's how they got here. They started opening portals. That's why you see them everywhere, and they're coming up with a cover story for their activities against humanity. And they were a little bit cool at first because there wasn't so many of them. Now the numbers are growing, and they're planning on taking people out. They're what they call drones. Well, there's man-made ones and there's really spiritual ones as well. Anyway, so enough of that kind of shit. So these things, I saw the tension. It would build in a person, and it would go to the other one, and that would be the demon going to the next person and infecting, reinfecting, wearing them out, keeping them on a high from that moment. But it's when they finally come down from that high, it hits them like a ton of bricks. How many demons they have, it's crazy. And then they become literal devils because then they're just spreading it to more people as they go around talking more negative stuff because of that energy. It's a virus. It's a little virus. And And I know there's people that support this agenda, you know, in the public, are usually these kind of very nasty. You can feel it through the camera, the tension that they're creating for no reason. And then the Unabomber was saying that's exactly what they do. They even if there was no problem for them to bitch about, which is what all they like to do, they'll create another thing to bitch about. Like literally, like they was talking about Trump the whole damn time, and that was the whole purpose, is to keep that fucking friction going between people and shit, which is what it's all about. To keep people on that negative side of the nervous system, the negative side of the serpent. The fight or flight or hate, instead of the growth and peace that cast out that other side of the nervous system. Because when you're in that negative shit, it casts out the positive side. You don't feel good anymore, like they blow your high kind of thing. Or when you're really low, and then somebody just makes you laugh and you forget all your problems. You see what I'm saying? Perfect love casts out fear. And that's why they're trying to take away all the fun stuff, man. Just have us focused on this negative, boring shit all the time since we're child, to beat all the life out of us so they can possess the person. Because the weaker you get, these are the dead. They just want to get back into a body and have some control, like they put it in the movies all the time. And they live through these various negative emotions, or maybe other types of odd emotions that I don't know if they're necessarily negative, but maybe just kind of wasteful or something, like gluttony or whatever. It might seem nice, it might not kill you or cause negative feelings, but it might make you feel negative later by feeling sick because you're overweight or you're obese, you know? So that's negative, that's leading to death. All sin leads to death. And there's usually vanities and stuff like that too, because it's wasting your life. It's maybe a technical sin, but a lesser one. There's different degrees of sin. So I saw it go from this her to the other person, and the tension thing. And then when it finally broke, it went literally all the way across the street to some people that I had never seen fight people. It really caught me off guard. They were literally trying to fight. I had to kind of break it up, and then it went on like that for the rest of the day. I couldn't even believe it. I was convinced. I could feel it too when it moved. And that's why they try and numb you so you don't sense these things move. But that's why you constantly see these people just talking about drama. That's why Drama Alert, the show on YouTube, is so popular. These people are drama queens, bro. Even Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Will Smith was like, dude, I found myself actually wanting drama. Like I was sitting in peace, and I was looking for drama somewhere. My body wanted to just go for the drama. Yeah, that's how it works. And there's the people that are in the spirit of God, that all they want to do is progress. All they want to do is help others. Like, of course they get angry too, but it's a lot slower to anger compared to the other guys. And it's not going to happen for no reason, because the devil can try and attach these type of people through, odd circumstances. It's not natural. That's the difference. These people do not, like, by nature, create hostility. You feel positive around them. You feel uplifted around them. You can tell their intention is to do good. You know what I mean? These other guys, you can pretty much tell what they're up to. They're not willing to compromise. These bad guys. Good people usually, that's what the being born again thing's about. Because every time, and that's what these guys are unable to do. What's the problem with the left and all these people there's people on the right that do the same thing, that believe Trump's still their savior, just like they're worshiping that Antichrist Trump, they're worshiping the dragon who gave the seat to that Antichrist, Obama. He's still running shit over there. Who fucking, the black people were calling their fucking, and Democrats in general, and minorities who thought they're going to be their champion. They thought he was their Lord and Savior. It's just like the white people think Trump is their savior. It's usually just white people I notice that think he's their savior still. They're worshiping the same devil though. The political system is the devil. It really is. It's mostly just this beast though, and the devil's a part of it. And because the devil's the dragon, that's why he gave us power, and because he knew this con man, the Antichrist, called Obama / Trump. More so Trump than Obama. Obama's an actual fucking devil like himself. His name literally means lightning from the heights. Like people don't know this shit, and that's when my war started. It was like with him, and that's why Goku all of a sudden meant Beerus. And I don't know. Mine was an interesting character. Like my whole journey started with like subconsciously causing this man to get impeached. Or no, indicted. He got indicted for some horrible shit he was doing or whatever. I was surprised that actually happened because they don't usually do that. And maybe it was because he was a man of color or something, but they didn't understand who this man was. So he basically got them indicted. But you know, that's because the same problem we have today. You know, nobody does anything. At least back then they had the balls to go after the guy, but I think it might have been racially motivated, simply considering he hadn't done nothing that serious at that point. Like, if anybody needed to get indicted, it was probably Biden. Biden's been doing way worse. Because he's been doing all the really unconstitutional like shit that makes Trump, not Trump, but Obama look fucking like an angel compared to him. But Obama was doing really bad shit in the second half, like really bad shit. At the same time, he upped the minimum wage around DC, which is actually kind of cool. Helped the economy a lot. But anyways, like I said, I don't like Obama. Like, I've been literally at war with this guy for a long time now. I remember I was spying on this guy in his dream. I saw that they were trying to get America into a war with third world country. No, with China through a third world country. So I've seen a couple of attempts at that with Ukraine and now Kazakhstan. That rebellion was, I mean, it might have been natural. It seemed like it, but maybe not. But the way Russia got involved shows me the problem with the situation is if you rebel, they'll probably just get help from other countries. I've always thought that was a possibility, and that's when they're gonna really play their card. They're more dangerous weapons that are more insta-kill, like the UFOs and all those final cars and all that stuff. That's what I feel about that fire demon, that robot trying to spread his negativity. And sometimes it's good to do that kind of stuff because it lets you vent a little bit, but don't do it more than an expression. The only reason I was spitting is because I was clearing my throat. They literally are the disease, so I had to clear that what is it? That poison that I just got infected with. You ever heard that someone's toxic? Yeah, that's why they're called toxic. They're literally filled with poisons, and you can feel it when you come around them. I notice most of these people that took the vaccine have this negative aura to them, even ones that are not normally negative. But I felt that I can feel that it's changing their aura because the literal toxins coming out of their body. These negative people that live in fear all day are eating away their body, eroding it away, not letting it grow. And so they become toxic, you see what I'm saying? And it can literally spread being by poisoning more stuff. That's all a virus is poison cells and stuff, and then it becomes a virus and mutates into a demon basically, and that's why all these demons can't take the perfect form like God can. They got all these mutated, diseased forms. And that's why they hate the Hebrews who have very good genes. They don't be born with all this leukemia and cancer and all this dumb shit. So they're trying to, they got this Mark of Cain is a small dick complex. and can't grow a beard, like China complex and just inferiority complex. Like what was King's problem with Abel? Jealousy. That's why God said don't eyeball your neighbor and don't be jealous. You know, they say it's real easy to be in this world if you're good looking or whatever. Not only for women, man, because everybody, you know, men are smart enough to get a good looking woman. Women are literally, what is the word? Competing with men for women. Women are actually more attracted to women than they are to men sometimes. Like, I mean, not sometimes, we all know it's lesbians, but I mean, it was like 70% of women are attracted to other women. Men are not attracted to other men on that scale, and most men that, I only know one guy that's bisexual, and he's literally only like that because he can't get no experience with women. He was that up front with me, and I'm that kind of a cool person that he trusts me to talk to him. I'm only bringing this up because you don't know who he is, you know. But you ain't gonna have a clue, like even if you did know him, because he doesn't seem like it. But I mean, because he's not naturally a fag, like, you know what I mean? Like, he literally can't beat women, and it's just funny because he's actually the best friend I had, probably. Like, literally, the guy's Morpheus. You know, it's a little weird, I know, but that's literally the guy that woke me up. No weird shit. You know, it just so happened to have been him. And how can I make that up? Just like, it's funny because the Hulk I was telling y'all about that can move things with his brain, he was also, you know, I ain't gonna lie, both of them were actually kind of attracted to me as well. Not weird or anything, but they kind of like said hi or whatever. They told me that or whatever. But, you know, we're just friends. I don't do none of that weird shit, dude. It's just I'm a very attractive person. Like, I get women very easily if I actually play the game. But I don't like playing the fucking game, considering I've had the best bitches in the high school. And I literally got an IG with women that have millions of followers following me, liking my comments, like replying to me, sending me messages, you know. But a lot of times they kind of fake, because, you know, I don't really post nothing but me. You know, I don't got riches and stuff, you know, to fakely show off. It's funny because my family's filthy rich. They don't like it's crazy. You wouldn't even believe. Like, I got like 2 houses on the same block, right? Like, on the same block, bro. I can go to the street, another house, but they're demonic. I was arguing with my dad. Remember, like, they're demonic. Like, that's why they have all that wealth. They sold out, and they want me to do their shit too. I'm not ever gonna do it though. I remember a helicopter was circling me, and I was like, "You see this shit? You see this shit, Dad?" My so-called dad, he's a fucking, he's more like an enemy, I swear, dude. Like, I don't wanna get too into that because that's negative stuff. But basically, it was circling around, and I was like, he was like, "What the heck? Did you make a YouTube video?" I was like, "Why should that matter?" You know what I mean? This guy is an army vet, you know? He's a fucking lieutenant and stuff. In charge of Cold War missiles, nuclear missiles. This dude, he used to be okay. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. I really don't know what the fuck happened to him. It's like he's demonically possessed, dude. It started with COVID, like with the vaccines. It really did. That's when it went really out of hand, like completely out of hand. He was already bad before that, but when he was younger, he wasn't that bad. But he's basically been on that side of things his whole life. But it seemed like at certain points he kind of like he got like buttloads of more demons or something. His sister's the same way. She thought she was married to Prince. God cursed her so bad she can't even have kids, dude. It's funny. That's a curse for a woman not to be able to have kids. And I'm like, after knowing this, how evil she is, and she literally, like my grandma, right, that I grew up with, basically, she was like a mother to me, you know. She literally some kind of crazy shit. Like she I don't want to take this too long now. I think about it. I'll be quick. They got like 8 houses, dude. Like that's the other house on this block, and it's just like she basically it's kind of tough to talk about because it's like that's what I was expecting to talk about, but at the same time it's kind of emotional. She basically like kicked everybody, got everybody. Well, I got set up into a fight with my so-called brother, who's also one of these demon things. Like the Bible said, your family turn on you. It's not too many of us that are legit, I don't think. But if you got like, if you're in the right family, you're in the right family. Kinda. I haven't seen one that's totally pure though. Like not one, but so they're gonna have me in your family, like the Bible said. And basically, he asked me for a fight after accusing me of beating my dad up, which I hadn't done. And then I was like, and I had just gotten into a big argument with my dad though. But he was trying to, you see what they do? They come and they try and add fuel to the fire, you see? And then he kept begging me for like 15 minutes, and I was like, okay, I already know this is a setup. Like, I know the scriptures, dude. And I know you're a demon. So, stipulation 1, you can't press charges. I had 3 witnesses there. Step 2, if it's gonna hurt this time. Then he's like, okay. Because I had literally just thrown him down when he challenged me before that, and I hurt him. And so he was basically the Cain. I'm the younger brother. I'm the Abel. The whole story is based around my life. You wouldn't even believe it. And my dad's the failed father, and my mom is the neglectful mother. That's why they're all literally. My mom's better than they are, though. That's why you see her in the constellation Virgo. But she's really Cancer. It's the funniest thing about it. She's a Cancer. The tropic, to the far north. She was born in New York too. It's so funny. I was on your telling the other day because I saw a vision about how they're fucking attacking her and stuff. I was like, don't leave me in New York, man, because I saw it. I don't want to say too much because the enemy will use everything I say because they're not allowed to see the shit I am. But they'll use what they'll be. Sometimes they're smart enough to know what to do. And yeah, I remember, man. We're a pretty cool team. It's just like Sarah Connor and John Connor. It's kind of like that. That story is based around it. It came out when I was born in 1985. I was conceptualized in 1984. They saw the star of Bethlehem coming. Halley's Comet marks out the timing of life. 70 years, man. Anyways, let me get through this.
It's been affecting big success more than others, in my opinion. But congratulations on surviving this far of life. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
The Sakurajima volcano.
Yeah, that's the thing I triggered. Like,
and I want to say, in this time where
look at the date, 28th.
people have been programmed and
It could be related to me getting nonstop attacks.
Totally supposed to hate the right.
God
right
could have been
totally
like mad
supposed to
and
hate
just
the
been like,
left.
you know what, I'm gonna do some
All
attacks
times.
back. But it could have been also the attacks I was enduring.
I am your planetary defense commander, Star-Lord Newdor 7T.
I can't tell because God controls both sides. Like I said, like God released.
NATO, Europe, North Korea.
My bad. Like you probably couldn't hear me over. Like I said, God created. No, He didn't create, but He released the locusts out of bottomless pit. It was to serve a purpose. And then He had those same locusts unable to affect the people that are sealed. They're only able to reach me once I'm done with my witnessing. And that's just to serve the purpose of getting me into heaven, so that we can hasten things. That's why in Michael's vision about me and the armor would be, I told you literally in that prediction, armor of God, that the armor is a part of my clothing. That's because the radiation is the enemy. I've always known that, like, when I first started manifesting reality back in the days when I caused that the indictment of Satan or whatever, that's all I'm gonna call him. With the Boston bombing and all that stuff. It started back then. Like, I noticed that the radio towers, my enemies and stuff, like, never using technologies and all this stuff to interfere with my meditations, my power. and they were constantly trying to get me negative. That's what they were just trying to do. Because the way the rapture works, and this is the only way it will ever work for y'all, the real rapture, is through positive feelings. That's how we were able to levitate. That's why COVID and all these negative things weigh you down, literally on an atomic level, because they bind to hydrogen and all the lighter elements. They bind to them readily. And that's why it was able to block my energy or my area and the heat in general, because it's absorbing that heat energy, the power, the hydrogen that comes from the sun, that is this heat, and the helium and all that shit. And it makes it hard to breathe as well, I'd imagine, because it probably binds to oxygen. Then it just weighs the person down and just brings them closer to death and tries to drain their life energy out. Their hydrogen, which is what they base alkalinity or life essence off of. And then it becomes these mutated demons, which is what radiation does. It mutates. Mutations are never, they're not good. Like, don't let them fool you. Have you ever seen anybody with these diseases be happy with these diseases? Think it's a bonus. That's why cancer's gone through the roof and all this other stuff. All these diseases, because these negative entities, that's what they're all about. They love to keep some drama. They love the chaos. They're demons. It's like they love suffering and watching people suffer. They like pain and watching others in pain. They like all that negative shit. That's why in hell, which was made for them, there'll be nothing but negativity. And what's a really negative thing to do that they would like to do is to grab someone that hates the negativity and have them go to hell with them. That's the ultimate get off on. So don't be fooled into being an evil howl shit. Don't get caught up in these people backsliding. Avoid them with everything you can. And just try you keep your peace and keep away from these people and keep around peaceful people and all that kind of stuff. Let me just continue.
Korea, like everybody's super on edge, freaking out. Man, it's like somebody's fired a laser at that thing. And then you get, is that a spaceship? Is that a comet? Is that a UFO?
It's a UFO. And there was another one right before it. Watch.
Strange and very
Watch the top part.
times.
You'll see it.
I sure hope you have a great day.
Oh, I got all the way back there.
If you would like to support YouTube,
Oh, I see. He replaced it later. You see that first one in the top
Man,
left?
it's like somebody's firing a laser.
I noticed that these things always have at least more than one of them. I think it's Starlink,
Ukraine, USA,
but it's really a patrol of
North
UFOs.
Korea, like everybody's super on edge.
The Starlink's just a cover story for
Man, it's
it.
like somebody's firing a laser at that thing.
I'm pretty sure it's a cover story for them.
Is that a comet? Is that a UFO?
Because those same, they were like hitting me with a whole bunch of fucking energy weapons last night. It was pretty bad, like. And the demons were self-destructing, all kinds of shit. That's why when they come out of you, they, like in the Bible, that's why Jesus would tell them to come out of people in peace instead of tearing them up when they come out. That old man put demons on me, I'm telling you. I automatically get rid of them when I'm sleeping. And that's what causes the cytokine storms, because they literally get into your head and they like attach to negative things like anything. Like metallic or toxic or heavier, because it's of their nature. They're heavy. That's how God kicked them out of heaven. He made them in these heavy elements that people worship and idolize. You ever wonder why the hell they care so much about gold? I mean, it has some uses, but like it's super overrated. Let's be real. Like, is it really that necessary? I mean, there's nothing wrong with gold, but like, I mean, some of these things are super overrated. I think some of them, especially like plutonium, are demonic. I mean, literally it's just nothing but radiation, kills people, it's nothing but death. It's nothing but sin, it's of the devil. And instead of using this other one that's 10 times more effective, I forget what it was called. You can look it up. This one president, I forget who it was. It was one of the most recent ones, because the person that told me they were alive when it happened, they were like, and they're like 60 something years old. They basically said that they did it over politics. They chose that one because it was something that they had a lot of in the state this person was in, as opposed to this one that's 10 times better. This backstory should help you find it too. As opposed to something that's 10 times better and clean. It's actually fucking clean. Like it turns into like a useful or non-harmful byproduct. And it doesn't have the ability to, there's no possibility for it to melt down either. Sorry about that. But yeah, that's the nature of having the highest concentration of 5G towers on the planet around me right now, because they knew I was here. Yeah.
I sure hope you have a great day. And hey, if you would like to support YouTube science that hasn't been telling you the sun is totally going to sleep the last 5 years, you can make contributions, donations to PayPal, Venmo, Cash App, Tron. Keep the orders up and running. I've only got 606 minutes.
Oh, let's do it.
Other science versions of that.
You see this?
It just is.
Do you see that?
Morning, you have time to like try to stay cool, try to be cool, try not to engage in any fights.
You see how he's talking about people?
Just chill out and rise above it.
He's literally talking about the same thing, dude. You see how that works?
Taking us through the storm. I'll be comprehensively hyper covering the storm.
You see how this thing goes all along the coast where I'm at?
Coast and drops quite a bit.
Have you ever seen anything like that?
A lot of people from South Carolina.
That's because it's getting hit by my orb.
Then we got an ice storm, snowstorm that should be dipsy doing.
You see how it's green down there though, and it doesn't actually reach it.
1 week from now. And as you know,
as it gets down there, it's running into that ore and it's getting dissipated.
February, if you remember last
I told you I'd overcome that bullshit wall of fucking load that they were using.
So
because I showed you in the other video that, well, I guess it's going to be part 3 of that type of thing, just to get people's attention. And then, yeah, so, this is what people know it as too. But yeah, like the whole damn thing was like, part 2 was like a wall of a cold that like came straight down instead of going west to east like most of the stuff is in these simulations, because I normalized the weather again. And that was like a really kind of hard attempt that they threw at me. Let me see what was like I said, I Zenkai that shit, and then they threw another one, and then Zenkai from that, and then this is the newest one that they're expecting to come, and that's why it's getting ate up like that. And then it's got this stuff just right off the coast, like it's not even touching. But yeah, the 5G is why the reason they have it all over the East Coast specifically, and only spots on the West. And that's why it came straight down like that and only has spots of cold on the West, because the 5G is creating radiation, which then absorbs the energy, the ore, the power, and then just wastes it basically. And nobody, people get their energy from their environment, and it just makes things harder for people. They're trying to focus my area. Apologize to all the people in my area. I don't really care about the zombies. But yeah, we're at war. And it's a spiritual war. It's a multi-dimensional war. And if you're a Hebrew, or anybody that really has a connection with God, you need to be careful. There's a devil. They're pretty much coming after me for the most part. Like, I'm taking the brunt of it, but you got to be careful too, because that's just how it is. You're gonna be hated for Jesus Christ's name. It's just how it is.
So we're looking at a barrier.
And your love burns.
Starting
So when you're happy, they're
tomorrow,
they're afraid.
and that will run through probably 2 or 3 weeks. So this will be peak winter season, in my opinion. I think he knows by now, but
Look at this shit.
And I try to
Watch how it curls
stay
around me. You see how
hope alive.
on the East Coast, bro,
And try
it
to
curls
touch
around
what
that
you
shit.
can.
Literally put a whole nother shape into that thing. And then look what happens after it
Things
goes
are going to
up.
change. It's been a big prediction of mine
Look at the
since
orb.
February 2020.
You see how it enhances?
Things would
Drastic.
really improve overall.
And then it also swirls around the eye of the
Start,
storm.
wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean?
You see, watch this.
That starting in the spring.
It swirls around the East Coast. Where DC is. That's where I'm
It's
at.
been a major prediction.
Witnessing against Sodom and Eve.
We're like 45 days away. That is
Watch
exciting. So I'm just saying, keep hanging there when you do Dark Order 2022 is even wildly crazy.
Like, just in case you didn't hear me, dude. She was talking the whole fucking time. Like, you see how this thing lights up like that? And then I made that big break in it, some of it went up to the north and all that shit. Like, watch how that colored stuff comes down. It comes down and then it swirls around instead of coming in. You see how it kind of swirls around there? And the way it enhances after it hits that area, that's not a coincidence. That's incredible.
Wildly crazy, dangerous. And once again, but no matter what, shit is definitely going to be weird until the 1-year Pluto anniversary of the Declaration. This weekend, numerous hazards like heavy snow,
All up that coast.
accumulations. Yeah,
Ain't reaching me though.
big blizzard warning.
Where did they-
Saying,
Where did they put most of the
numerous hazards.
where did they put the biggest concentration of fucking 5G towers? And where was the most deaths for 5G? New York. That's doing that to kill off colored people. Like, that's the real most dangerous thing. Like, even more than the fucking the spike protein. It's a really evil weaponry they've come up with. But New York is literally the reason it's able to make it that far. Because it literally has more fucking 5G in just that state than like the second highest country. See how it goes down down towards New York, and then on the right you see, and then it's basically shut down right where I'm at,
Heavy snow with
like right below that.
accumulations.
See,
Yeah.
I stopped it right at my
Blizzard
fucking
warning.
my
And like I was
location
saying, not to rain on the parade, but it will rain on the parade. Well,
because I'm the target.
flooding may come with a rapid warm up and heavy rain
Trying to
late
get
next
me.
week in places that will get feet
You know,
of snow
that's why they
tomorrow.
put so much in New York
Plus,
too.
This just giant.
That's why they put so much in New York. And then you see how it's warm in my area again, and then not so warm in these other areas up, because they're predicting they'll be able to push it through using New York again. And it's just funny because, like, well, I can't say this, it's personal. I can't say everything. I know.
Shaft over
This
thousands
is
of
my,
miles.
at least someone I know
Bear
wrong.
Shell Woo, we're declaring a snow emergency starting tonight at 9 p.m. And no, that's real. It's not woo woo. All right. Winter storm forecast to begin Saturday. You can expect between 18 to 24 inches of snow.
When? On the 28th. What happened on the 28th? It says 29th. Sure, you'll know that by when I posted probably, but I could have made this some other time. He's making a video on the 28th as well. That thing ain't do nothing but a little bit of snow in my area, bro. Like, shit was nothing. But like usual, I'm right, man. I mean, this video is already long. I tried though.
And winds as high as 50 miles per hour.
The winds were interesting.
Stay home and ride the MBTA if necessary. I know what the MBTA is.
That was the attack they made on me, see? That was what really made the idiots act a fool. And why I was getting attracted, well, it was related. And literally caused that bad snow. So the snow itself was nothing. I ate that up, but the sun got pretty good from it. And also, I mean, Boston would probably got hit because I'm not there. Plus, it's closer to whatever they're. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it's also because in New York having so many goddamn 5G towers, Boston is pretty much, screwed. I don't even know what I'd be able to do if I was that close to that many fucking 5G towers. So I guess I'll find out soon enough. I already know they're coming out with 6G soon.
TA is person training. I'm probably planning on staying home.
And they put it right in your face when they call it 6G, 5G. Like, I've made like 5 videos in one. I need to end this soon, so it doesn't freeze. Like 6G, 5G, you see what I'm saying? They're up in the gravity, more weight, more radiation attaching to your lighter elements, like hydrogen, your life essence and stuff, make you heavier, more heavy metal, toxic, poison, more diseased, burden, evil. So all that is reversed now, because I'm telling you the truth. For example, at the equator, where I told you is the division between the waters above and below. That's why they rotate different ways there. When the ball Earth, they should rotate the same way. The magnetic poles are a factor in pulling them as well, but it also proves a firmament instead of them just being out there, and so on and so forth, or whatever. But let me see what the hell is I talking. Oh yeah, the weight. But the firmament, you got the heavens and stuff. It literally makes, they say it'll make you 3 times, not 3 times, but 3% lighter. And that's probably because of how close it is to the sun. And that's because of the constant hydrogen. Like, that's why they call it the equator. It's the equation. It's the most important part. Like, it's what they equate all the longitude and latitudes based on. It's where the age that we're in is based on. There's actually 2 ages we're coming into: age of Aquarius and then the age of Leo. So those are the 2 witnesses. Jesus was Aquarius, which and he was also he's more so actually an Aries. That's what I think. But he could have, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong and he was Aquarius. But I know I had another spiritual birthday in the same time frame as Aquarius. I don't remember what part of the year it is. I think it was January. And that'd be ironic because here I am doing all this crazy shit again and it's echoing. And it's just annoying because like some scriptures it says don't have your flight in winter. Man, they're right. I really hate how it always seems to happen though like that. I think that's because Aquarius. I'm pretty sure it was January. Because it's on the opposite side. It's got to be on the winter. 6 months before. Yeah, it's January. Or actually, no, it's March. So we're leading into it. Yeah, March has been another interesting thing. That's why in the prayer game with Morgan Yu, like he has this robot called January. That was one of them. And then there's this other one. That was an important month. I don't remember. And he was named Morgan Yu, and he was like in the Truman Show. I literally live on Truman Road and Rig Road. It's so funny. There's 2 roads behind the house, like a back road and then the main road. And anyways, we move on. Totally forgot what I was even trying to get at with that. Well, anyways, yeah, fuck it. No. Yeah, the snow emergency and all that dumb shit, they were declaring that would happen. Is there anything else you had to say? I mean, I got pretty much all the stuff I wanted to talk about. Oh yeah, the rapture. I need to talk to you about that. Enough of this negative stuff is distracting me. I'd rather just watch the natural weather. I mean, unnatural weather versus me. I like to watch something that I'm a part of the picture, aka reality. Because I know I have influence just looking at this. It's funny, but I'd rather look at something positive, even better than. But yeah, the way the rapture works is through positivity, man. Like we're all like, we could just suddenly hear each other praising God all across the planet and stuff, and then we just like were really positively influenced, and it made us all sing. It just, you couldn't help yourself. Like it just made you feel to do it. Like just like how you couldn't help yourself, that it made you want to fly. You ever notice that when you're in a dream and you're flying, if you've flown in a dream before, I've done it several times. You know, and that's why they don't, you know, like me doing my thing or whatever. Because dreams can create reality and all that kind of stuff as well, and show you things that are hidden. Like it was all based about feeling. I had to just maintain a certain kind of feeling when I was, but it wasn't like a rapture type of uplifting. I was just kind of flying or floating, and I just kind of maintained it. It wasn't easy though. And but yeah, like in the rapture though, like it was like we were all doing that, and it started to lift us up. And then I ended up in this church as I was being lifted up, and I was being lifted up in the church, and I kind of floated at the top of it and spun around and stuff. I could somehow see myself. Either that or I just, you know, like I have an imagination, and that's how I was envisioning it. As far as like, I was actually seeing it when I first experienced it, first person, but I could visualize naturally because I have a really good imagination. Way better than I could draw with my hand. You know, like what's going on around me, and that's why I'm a good fighter. Because like I could shadow box like a million things instantly because I've already thought of them. And I already know the script. I know how to dance, they call it. But yeah, so need to get positive. We got to get lighter, and that's like lighthearted as they call it. And you know, that's the funny thing. It reminds me of Egypt, how they said that they would weigh people's hearts to see if they would be able to make it, and if the heart was light, it would make it. And these guys are literally trying to make our hearts as heavy as possible because this thing targets the heart and shit. You know what I mean? Isn't that so evil? These guys are the devils if I've ever seen. Luckily, physicality and natural science is not how it works. God will do whatever the fuck. Like, he will, I'm telling you. But he's the one that has the final say so, not these freaks, not what you think is science, because science can change your guys will. And you don't know everything. You know what I mean? Not many people that thought they were in hell, and then guys like I said, you think the thoughts you receive your own? No, they're given to you by God. And there's that evil angel that comes and gives you evil thoughts. You're not supposed to listen to that demon. It's a test. God's controlling both sides, and that's why when the devil was cast down, they said the accuser of the brethren, and that's what the fucker kept trying to do, was accuse me in the loop. And then I was like, okay, we had a test to be able to prove it. I was like, put your money at. I was like, I got $200, bro. I really only had 100 at that point though. I was kind of low in funds or whatever that I had on me or whatever. And I was like, yo, what's up? Kept saying that he would never, he would just shut up. He would shut up every fucking time because he knew it was the truth. He knew that I would fucking win that damn test. So he never took the offer. You know? So if you're well planted in God, all the blessing in the world ain't gonna be a damn thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, but the devil is literally constantly trying to set us up and accuse us. the same time while trying to set us up. You ever seen the story of Job? Oh man, only y'all would get it. Yeah, he's trying to set people up with the heavy thing, and that's not what you want, and that's why the hydrogen and all that stuff makes people lighter, because it's the lightest element. And it's close, a lot of it, the equator, I'd imagine. That's what the division between the waters above and the waters below, which is called heaven. It's probably why the weather's so good there, and it probably aligns up with the Garden of Eden somewhere along, I bet. Anyways, that's that. I gotta end this before this thing tries some fancy shit.